I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with a 3-minute cattle market update for Friday, June the 16th, where we've seen pressure kind of back off a little bit here late in the week finally. Been so rough all week long, especially on your cash fat cattle trade and on your cash feeders too, and then the board driving down, just everything. But we finally hit the pressure valve and let a little bit of that off and kind of eased up a little bit, and things did respond in your cash feeder market, that they were glad to see that. But you look at the board, live cattle futures, August contract, Wednesday was down the $3 limit. Thursday was down just moderately, just down 37 cents to end the day on Thursday at 117.50. That's what we're looking forward to for August there. But your June spot live cattle contracts were down $2. They seem to like to keep that spot live cattle contract, $8 to $10 basis from what cash is. And now we've got cash backed way up, and they still need to crater that spot futures contract there to keep it that way, but that's where everybody's comfortable, I guess. But it's sitting at 122.50 at Thursday's close. Feeder cattle futures, the August Wednesday was down 382. Thursday was actually up. Yeah, now hear this. A cattle futures contract was actually up this week. In fact, all your feeder cattle futures were up throughout. Not big, actually. The August was up the most at 95, but some of the other out fronts were up 60, 70 there. But end the day with August up 95, Thursday at 147.07. Your fat cattle trade, we talked earlier this week, they sold cattle Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday just progressively lower, just cratering the market. Through Wednesday, it already sold 56,400 head at progressively lower prices. Most of those prices from 128 to 133 on a live basis, but through Wednesday your weighted average was sitting around 131. There was some talk, it didn't get reported anywhere, but some talk of some additional trade even lower than the 128 on Thursday, maybe as low as 126.5, maybe 126. Now that would be a definite addition to what's already been a very big downer this week. But on your dress sales, they ranged mostly Monday through Wednesday from 210 to 215 with a weighted average around 211.50. But there's some talk that maybe there was some trade at 205 on Thursday. If there was, we hope there's not a lot of it. Everybody was pretty tight-lipped about it if they did do some of that. But you wouldn't see people getting too excited to admit that they did something like that. A lot of the problem with the cash fat cattle market this week was the fact that your cattle feeders just kept puking them lower and lower and lower, starting out with that 132 for early July there to start off on a Monday, and just pulled the rug out from under everybody right then. How are you supposed to try to maintain any kind of market position when you got guys selling 3 to 4 weeks out $5 lower than what the most previous established market was? And it's just, you would think there would be a way for guys to work together a little bit more. Where's TCFA? Where's Nebraska Cattlemen's trying to get some leverage on these guys? But we just don't have enough people selling negotiated cash. It's kind of been in vogue this year. I will say there's more of it being done than has been in recent years, and last year in 2016 was the first year that we had seen more negotiated cash trade than the previous year in history, because starting out back in the 60s with the old stockyards selling them on the bricks, all the cattle were sold negotiated. And then as we moved into your commercial feedlots, we just started seeing more and more and more selling off some kind of a formula or contract deal, until it got to where, way more than the lion's share, over 80% of them were sold that way. But we started inching our way ever so slightly back last year, and probably going to be a little bit more this year too. But just need more of that to try to hold the market together. Some more pessimistic news for the market come out on Thursday. Your actual dressed steer weights for the week ending June the 3rd, they've been down in the 830s. We were boasting about how green the cattle were and everything. Well, all of a sudden now for that week ending June the 3rd, your dressed steer weights rocketed up from 9 pounds from the previous report up to 847. And that's still lighter than a year ago and 5-year average, but it's a big leap from one report to another, and it just shows that we're not in a position where we don't have enough market ready cattle. We knew that we were getting that way as we got closer to summer, that we'd be running into more market ready cattle, and now you can see that on that 2-week delay on those actual slaughter data. That's for sure true, and probably by the time we get to this week it will be even heavier yet, and getting back up to where we were at before we started getting so short of market ready cattle. Your slaughter has remained very good this week. Through Thursday, 467,000. That's 1,000 more than the same time last week, 24,000 more than the same week a year ago. Box beef cutout values, we were talking about them easing off. They really haven't come off that much. They're still sitting at near record levels, and which those record levels are all time in history record levels for this time of the year, and haven't really come off of that. You know, maybe wavered back and forth a little bit, but have not backed off anything like cash fat cattle or cash feeders. And that's a pretty good sign, as they're still buying some stuff for 4th of July and things like that. We're going to run into some more pressure on the cutout value market there, but as long as we can hold it up, the better. These packers are making a lot of money, maybe $200 a head. You know, they went there a week or two and had to run a little bit of red ink, and they're used to running it several weeks through the year, but last year I don't think they lost money any time during the whole year, and this year they've made a lot of money and maybe had 1 or 2 bad weeks, and then ended up getting the cattle market cratered. It's amazing that they can do that. But cash feeder cattle markets, you look at your real-time index on Beef Market Central late on Thursday, sitting at 143.77, down just 77 cents from Wednesday, so that's the least we've lost all week, and a lot of that has to do with the board was actually up on feeder cattle and wasn't quite so hard on the fat cattle on Thursday, and saw a pretty quick turnaround with how much pressure they were putting on cash feeders there, down to 77. But that 143.77 is down 872 from the end of last week, from last week's close on the RTI, and that is a lot. But you look at some markets there, OKC West and El Reno on Wednesday, 8,700 head, had about 6,500 or a few more yearlings there on Wednesday. Their feeder steers $5 to $10 lower. Feeder heifers weighing over 8 with just $2 to $4 lower, but under 8 on the feeder heifers, $5 to $8 lower. Look at the market here on Thursday, Pratt, Kansas, near 4,000 head. Feeder steers there $4 to $7 lower, but did quote some cattle weighing over 9, and they had a lot of good load lots of steers weighing over 9, and they sold firm to $1 higher than last week. So there's a bright spot that we saw, and a few bright spots on Thursday, and maybe we can go ahead and end the week that way. Not very many cattle weighing under 8 at Pratt, but they were a foot lower, or more than a foot lower. But individual quote out of Pratt there at 11:30 on Thursday morning, they had 61 head of steers, weighed 908 at 154.75. That's not too bad. That's 3 minutes. We'll talk to you next week.